Step One Academy. I'm Dr. C. Please join me on this musical journey. Let's go!
We are today here with my great friend Vuk Pavlovic. He's a drummer, he's a multi-instrumentalist, right? You play more than one instrument.
I call myself a dabbler.
Okay, fair enough. So we're here in his family studio. Mm-hmm. Your dad is a sculptor, a painter. He works for Jepson Museum. Mm-hmm. And mom is a teacher, but she's very much into drawing and art herself.
She was a printmaker as well.
Yeah. I guess this is almost like an epicenter of creativity. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Can you tell us how you started?
Well, I think I started as many children start, on pillows and, just creating rhythms and, the pots and pans. Mm-hmm. When I was a toddler, just kind of fun going and banging on things. I got more seriously into drums probably when I was around 10 or 11. When I was 11, it was the first time I had gone back to Serbia in maybe 7 or 8 years. And my cousin, coincidentally, was also interested in drums. So both he and I, immediately had this connection. We grabbed, a pair of sticks, and I think even before we were just using some, wooden spoons and whatnot. Spatulas, exactly, whatever we can get our hands on. And we set the pillows up and we're just creating rhythms, and then I had a little, micro cassette recorder, and then we would record these different rhythms, and then we would practice something. And when I was in band in elementary school and middle school, I played alto saxophone. So that was my first instrument. In middle school, while I'm there with the alto sax, you know, some of my buddies that were in band, they would just show up to class with a pair of sticks.
Okay.
And sit behind, you know, they're the cool kids with the shades, you know, sitting behind, and, you know, just pull the sticks out and, you know, would follow along in, you know, the Standard of Excellence, whatever book we were using, and you know, afterwards would just, you know, mess around, and I'm like, this is so cool. He doesn't have to carry around anything. The drums are stationed. He brings in his sticks. He can spin them. He can do whatever he wants. And it's a lot easier way also to slip out of the class at the end. You know, you don't have to take off your mouthpiece and your reed and put all these, you know, parts away. In high school, I went to Savannah Arts Academy, and I went for visual art. And so I wasn't a music major at Savannah Arts. And then I started taking kind of music classes pretty much by I believe my junior year into my senior year. That's when, you know, I took a piano class there, and I joined jazz band. I had a band on the side. It was pretty much my first band, called Nature's Pocket. My great buddies, Michael Fu, he played guitar, and then Robin Sherman, who is the son of Jack Sherman, who is the original guitar player of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who lives here in town.
Oh wow!
You know, I grew up with both Robin and Michael. We played some covers, and then we started writing originals, and you know, we would have practice every week, and it was kind of very, very old school in the approach. Once I was you know, in college, that's when I started playing out in a lot more. Yeah.
After college, and you went for what? What was your major in college?
Spanish.
Spanish. Then you went and did masters, and you lived in Spain for some time, right?
I studied Spanish because languages have always come easily to me. I was originally a biology major, and you know, I went into college not really sure what I was going to study. I didn't want to study music because I thought, what am I going to do with it afterwards? You know, so I mean, I don't mean a disgruntled
existential question.
Yeah, it was a strong existential question, and I was like, well, you know, like, I'll primarily pursue it on my own. I switched my major from biology to Spanish, thinking that would be an easy ticket out of college, you know, with a degree. And in Spain, I went to Spain, and I taught English. I was there for 2 years, lived in Salamanca, which is a small town, fairly close to Madrid. The longer I was there, the more people I met, and because I would go to a jam session every Wednesday. And so the local musicians would get together at my favorite bar there. We'd go and you know, like hordes of people would come in, and it was a way of kind of keeping me clearly in the music sphere, because, you know, I mean, wherever I went or wherever I will go, you know, I feel like that will follow me and I will follow it. So it's kind of a natural thing to find where people are getting together.
And to close this section off, like you came back to Savannah after that, and most lately, right, you've been working with Velvet Caravan?
So I started playing with Velvet Caravan
2 years ago?
Yeah, pretty much 2 years ago. I mean, time's flying. It's ridiculous. I thought it would be cool to join Velvet Caravan and see what I can contribute.
Let's show people what you can do with this.
Gretsch, Paul Cooper, and Josh Schaefer, my buddy Max Chrisman, and Robert Saunders, they all made this possible. So this was made up the road in South Carolina. I treasure it and I use it, and I thought it would complement Velvet Caravan quite well with this, you know, eccentric sparkle and
it is beautiful. Okay, so here's that beautiful set. Gretsch and
Gretsch Broadcaster. That's it.
Yeah. And Luke is gonna tell us a little bit about all this different drums.
So a lot of drummers primarily use between a 4 and a 5-piece kit.
Okay.
What's comprised of a 4 or 5-piece kit is the kick drum or the bass drum, however you like to refer to it, which is this one that produces the lowest tones.
Okay.
Then you have your snare, which is behind, also part of the foundation of the kit. Then you have your rack toms, and you have your floor tom. So you have your first rack, your second, your floor. So this is a 20-inch kick drum, 6x14 snare. You have a 10-inch, 12, and 14. These are standard sizes, so to speak. Kick drum, some people prefer a larger one, 22-inch. 24 is like a really rock-like, but 18 to 20 is very good for jazz, fusion, things.
And how about cymbals?
Cymbals provide a lot of color and complement clearly what you're playing on the drums. So this is a splash, Zildjian splash, 8-inch. So that provides this very kind of like a Pinky Morbid effect sound. And these are crashes, a Zildjian A and a K custom. This is a ride cymbal here and a China cymbal.
Okay.
And this is called a stack. This is more of an effects-based thing.
So can you show us how this whole thing is put together?
So if we start with something simple, if we just want to do, like what Western music is based off of, like a 4/4 a rock beat, where we just go.
Awesome, man. So if somebody would want to start playing, and what would be the first thing you'll tell them when they sit there and you go, just like, show me what you can do?
Right. I think it definitely takes having the innate feeling for rhythm. So if you hear something and it makes you move, I think that's a great start.
I always felt that the coordination is a biggest challenge of learning how to play drum, because you're using your feet equally as you're
your
using
hands,
your
right? So
hands.
it's called four-way coordination,
Exactly.
right? It begins just like with any instrument. You start slowly. When I took lessons with a drummer in Serbia, when I used to go and visit there during the summers, his approach was going with everything from the beginning. You don't just focus on hands, so you say, okay, let's try single strokes, which single strokes are, right, left, right, those are quarter note singles. So instead of just doing that, why not try quarter note singles involving your feet as well? So you can do, but you can also do that with the hi-hat. You can go. Well, so it's like if you go back to that rhythm where you're just playing that, as we would call it in the music business, meat and potatoes, which is just playing, eighth notes on the hi-hats, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you're playing the kick on beat 1 and on beat 3. Okay? And this thing, when you're hitting on the snare, which is that's called the backbeat. Okay. You do that on the second beat and the fourth beat, typically. Okay. So if you're going. So as you hear there, you're kind of you're setting that pulse. You're giving that low end, which you feel right here, and then this kind of backbeat pop.
So that then evolves into other rhythms.
You can try out different things. Since I love playing like a lot of like Latin based stuff. So if you were to play kind of like a samba where you think, and this applies to any instrument, if you think that you can sit down and learn something and say, you know what, I have this, I got it, I know it all, you might as well give up. Because this is a lifelong exploration. No, my advice would be to just, kind of follow, it sounds cliched, but follow your heart in regards to, what it's telling you. Because, again, not limiting it to drums, as with any instrument, it's all about communication. You're learning to communicate with this instrument and then communicate something greater to an audience. So it's all about, just if you really enjoy doing it and like the idea of an ever-growing challenge, then it's definitely something to consider.
We can go like this for hours,
Right.
And chat and talk.
So there's not going to be an extended cut?
We can make a series out of this
Yeah.
next year. But thank you so much for letting us be your guest today.